Grapplers, what's going on? Thank you for joining me for an episode here today. I want to talk to y'all about a few topics, so just ride with me a little bit and listen in. First thing I want to talk about is the United World Wrestling Championships. All right, it goes down October 19th. This is going to be an event that I personally have watched at least the last 3, maybe 4 years now. And I'm never disappointed, man. You get some great matches, some international wrestling competition from the best of the best. You know, it's pretty much, if you don't know already, the equivalent to the Olympics, but we're only focused on wrestling right now. So when you look at the United States roster, you know, just some great names stand out. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm not, as of right now, we're going to have each and every single wrestler that was on last year's team back on the roster. 2 more available spots. So we're inserting Kyle Dake and David Taylor, which makes this lineup even more crazy. You know, top to bottom. It's aggression, it's highlights, it's just grit to win, and just high level talent all over the place. From Thomas Gilman to Nashawn Garrett, Logan Stieber, James Green, Jordan Burroughs, Kyle Dake, David Taylor, Jaden Cox, Kyle Snyder, Nick Gowandowski. That's a big roster right there, full of highlights. You know, if I could, I'd watch all their matches, you know. But I really am looking forward to seeing some of Thomas Gilman's matches for sure. Nashawn Garrett, you know, I can't even lie. I'm looking at this roster. I need to see each and every single one of these people wrestle. So, you know, everyone has their Netflix and chill. Well, it's about to be watch wrestling and kick it with Justin, you know, for my family. So, yeah, they got to get prepared for that. One of the most anticipated and talked about things for this event will be Jordan Burroughs. He's found a rival of sorts this year. It started with some online beef talk. I'm better, who's better, let's wrestle, let's find out type of situation between Frank Chamizo. And I was getting a little forgetful, thinking that this would never even happen. Then Beat the Streets happens. Jordan Burroughs, Frank Chamizo, they wrestle. Jordan Burroughs blasts doubles Frank out the mat. JB wins. It's a good day. They wrestle again just a few months later at another competition. Frank Chamizo took the early lead. Jordan Burroughs was able to wrestle back, but fell short. Ultimately, lost by 1 point. So here we are. The American icon, Jordan Burroughs, versus one of the most unique wrestlers of this era. They're going at it for the 3rd time in a year, and this time is for the World Championship. Now, it's not set in stone that this match will happen, but there's a very good chance that this match happens, and I hope it does. I will dissect that match, send it to my cousins, send it to any youth wrestler that wants it. You know, this is going to be something to see. Not taken away from anybody else on this American roster, because they are all stacked with talent. James Green, David Taylor, Kyle Dake, the lightweights, the heavyweights. Oh, man. And it just reminds me, you know, that wrestling is a year-round sport. And I know the American team last year, they won it. So they got something to strive for this year. Consistency. 2 gold medals back-to-back years. Team medals. Now, I do want to jump topics. I want to get back into this Khabib versus Conor press conference because I've been getting some flack from some of y'all out there. Who's your pick? Who's going to win the fight? Conor did this. Khabib did this. I'm not really worried about all that. I'm aware that Conor McGregor took a 2-year hiatus from mixed martial arts. But that's not a foreign concept. Tony Ferguson, he injured his leg. How long was he out for? And he's immediately coming back and fighting Anthony Pettis. That's a dangerous fight right there for himself. Naturl Grappler, the martial arts blog. Thank you for joining. Right now I'm talking about the Conor versus Khabib matchup set for October 6th. Conor McGregor has been away from the sport for 2 years. Khabib, I mean, what can you say? The man had a fight for the belt. He fought Alaquenta. It wasn't his best performance. He, in my opinion, was exposed. He can't fight. I mean, he can't wrestle in the middle of the mat. His takedowns, if you broke it down, probably all happened against the fence. Where there's pressure, he can secure his locks and take you down and, drag you down like quicksand and just force you up against the cage and just punch the snot out of you until you quit or until the referee blows the final horn. The press conference was interesting. I mean, it is what you expect it to be. Conor gave a show. Khabib stayed true to himself. But talking doesn't win fights. We know that. We can't sit there and subscribe to these martial arts values whenever it's comfortable. You can't sit there and say, be humble in one breath and then cheer for the boisterous one in the next breath. Because, again, talking does not win fights. It sells pay-per-views for sure, and you got to do that. But I'm not going to sit there and cheer or vote for one man because he spoke the loudest. Do I think Conor has a great chance to win? Absolutely. Look what he did to Jose Aldo. Look what he did to Frankie Edgar. You could argue, look what he did to Nate Diaz. But telling story is what he did to Chad Mendes, a fighter who is similar to Khabib, going for the takedowns, going for the control game. But Conor was able to knock Khabib out. Conor was able to knock Chad Mendes out. Will he be able to knock Khabib out? I know we're going to find out real soon. But Khabib, he really did get exposed for me when he fought Alaquenta. And, in the third and fourth round, it's going to be real hard to get your hands around somebody if they're in the center of the ring and you're trying to hit those takedowns. You just get sweatier, slippery. So I'm sure his team has him in the lab planning for that. And if they are not, shame on them. Because that's a glaring hole in the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Conor does get a knockout. It's in the third or fourth round with Khabib struggling for a takedown in the middle of the mat. That's an early prediction. I'm not saying it's going to happen that way. That's how I feel right now. Okay? Naturl Grappler, the martial arts blog. We're here to talk about our next topic. I got 2 fighters I want to share with you that are on my radar for fighters to watch. I think they'll be getting a lot more time on the UFC Fight Pass. They'll be showing up on the FS1 cards. Starting with Marina Rodriguez. Now, let me tell you about this. I'm watching FS1 fight night or whatever it is, and I see the highlight reel for this girl, and it's her doing the Contender Series. And I love that show. That's a good show. Give fighters a chance to come out of nowhere and break onto the scene. So Marina Rodriguez, she's fighting this girl and punching the girl and kicking her and kneeing her. The girl gives up mid-punch, like, oh no, heck no, this isn't for me. Get me out of here. So I chuckle, I laugh. It makes me want to watch the fight. I end up watching the fight, and I'm just wondering, okay, how's this going to go? And who was she fighting? She was fighting Randa Marcos. They're like, the fight ended up in a draw. I mean, that's fine and all, but the skill level I saw from Marina Rodriguez, it's legitimate. It's 100%. She's tall for the division. She's fighting at 115 pounds. I believe they call that straw weight. But she was just lanky. Front kicks, solid punches, solid ground game. The talent is there for this lady to make some noise in this stacked weight class. Now, by no means am I saying that she deserves a title shot in the near future or anything like that. I mean, this is a stacked division. I mean, Joanna, you got Jessica Andrade, Claudia, Tatiana Suarez, Carolina, Tessia Torres, and that's just the top 6. I haven't even got into like the top 10 or top 15. It's a stacked weight class. It's a long climb, but this fighter right here, Marina Rodriguez, she looks like she's ready for all of the action. So these girls got one on the radar they need to be looking at and taking some of her approach to the game, to be honest, because she had no fear when she was walking forward. It was incredible. The next fighter I want to talk to you all about is Andre Ewell. Now, this fighter right here, an amazing story. This man tells it that he was homeless days leading up to the Brazil fight. And he took the fight, flew out to Brazil. But his opponent is an opponent that, you really wouldn't just wake up in the morning and just agree to fight unless you had time to train for, and Renan Barão. Renan Barão, Mr. 10, 20, 30 fights in a row without a defeat. The former bantamweight champion, the man that beat Uriah Faber and Michael McDonald. Renan Barão is no sleeper. And you talking about you're homeless and you just going over here to fight, and there's a lot riding on your career in this moment. I think this man handled the pressure extremely well. He survived the submission attempts in the first round. He caught Renan Barão with a strong punch to the face that sent him to the canvas. And he just simply controlled the second and third round. So for him to come out of nowhere and to be able to control Renan Barão to that level and to that extent by striking, this man was countering Renan Barão, catching his kicks, hitting him with the right hand like it was easy. Gave Renan Barão the noodle legs about twice. And he won by a split decision. I don't think it was a split decision. I think it was more like I give the first round to Renan Barão for control. But I give this second and the third round to Andre Ewell by a landslide. I don't think the first round was 10-8 or anything like that. Now how far Andre Ewell will travel in the bantamweight class? So that's a big question. This man, he wants all the smoke already. He's calling out all the names. He's called out what's that man from the Contender Series? Oh man, the dude with the hair, Sean O'Malley. Yeah, Sean O'Malley. Andre Ewell talks about that's who he wants to fight next in the bantamweight class is Sean O'Malley. So his game plan is take out unranked Sean O'Malley, then take on Cody Garbrandt, and then take on TJ Dillashaw End of story. Gets the belt, goes home, walk off home run. So I'm with the game plan. I really am. I just feel like there's some big roadblocks in the way. This is a stacked weight class, and I'm not ready to give Andre Ewell, that much hype just yet. We got names like Aljamain Sterling. He's looking pretty good right now. Marlon Moraes. They can't forget about that man right there. What about Dominic Cruz? Who else? Give me one more. John Lineker, for example. Jimmie Rivera. You got some solid guys in the division. And I'm not saying that Andre Ewell can't beat not one of them. But we'll have to wait and see. The man's 14-4. Has great striking ability. He was moving out the way of those punches and kicks with such subtle ease. He fights with his hands down, which allows him to have, those fast twitch muscles to work in his advantage and catch his opponent off guard. He was tagging Renan Barão up. So kudos to him. He's definitely a man to watch, and we'll have to wait and see how this division plays out. Naturl Grappler, the wrestling blog. Thank you all for listening in. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. I'm out.